The American propaganda machine is in full swing.
Yes, sirree. I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style. I think it's Thursday. You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Geez, you know, oh yeah, because it goes on and on and on. For all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of... Yes, the American propaganda machine is in full swing. They just allotted $1.6 billion to do anti-China propaganda around the world. And it's focusing on the Belt and Road Initiative. See, the last time they were sort of trying to compete with the Belt and Road Initiative, they brought this Build Back Better, and we heard about it for, I don't know, a month or two, and then it just sort of went away because it was going to cost them a lot of money. But the propaganda machine that they're putting in place right now is costing the taxpayers of the United States $1.6 billion. Just passed about a week ago through Congress. $1.6 billion over a 5-year time period. They just love to spend your money, guys. I'm telling you, the taxpayers in the United States have got to either have rocks in their head, be stupid, or just don't give a damn, or they don't think that they can do anything about it. They're obviously not putting the right politicians in place to make the best bang out of their buck. You notice the Yonge River is receded. Last time I made a video down by the river, we had a flood going on, and this whole area back here this is all underwater. And the video that I showed with this in here, it was, well, you can see where the water was up to. It's like about 10-12 feet high. You can see on the brown over there the line, and on the white columns here the lines. And look how far it is down to the river now from here. So that's how far it's gone down over the past 3 days. So but you see, that's not what this video is about. The idea that the United States is trying to influence other countries around the world with anti-China rhetoric through paying local radio stations, local television stations, local news stations, newspapers, social media YouTubers, or social media outlets in different countries. For instance, say if China was building a port in Africa using African workers, they would start doing an anti-China rhetoric propaganda against the Chinese company that's doing that port, trying to plot the workers against the company, telling bad things about the company, so that so that they have problems with their workforce. You know, stuff like this. It's not just saying, oh, these people are bad, but they have a malicious intent about it. You know, trying to stop the Chinese helping these countries build ports, build roads, build buildings, and such. You see, when Russia was doing propaganda against the United States, and sure, it was close to election time and whatever, it came off by the American news media that Russia was interfering in American elections. Russia was interfering in our internal political world. And but see, and that's propaganda as far as the United States is concerned. But when the United States does it, it's spreading democracy around the world is what they're doing. They're spreading democracy, American-style democracy, around the world through their forms of propaganda in places like the Middle East. Well, the Middle East, I think they've lost. Places like Central America, South America, Africa. You know, the Southeast Asian countries. Just think the number of dollars that are going to go into the Philippine journalists' pockets, the newspapers, the news agencies, the social media, because there's a lot of social media in the Philippines, and with the South China Sea rhetoric going on, and the Americans sort of pushing that. At this time, you're going to see a lot of money going into the Philippines. Well, it's good. They could use the money. I don't think a lot of the $1.6 billion is going to actually go to American media companies like Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, because what they want to do is they want to vilify the Chinese companies trying to do business in different countries, trying to promote the Belt and Road Initiative, and as they build ports, they're going to have negative propaganda spewed through this $1.6 billion. When they're trying to build roads, same thing. Negative propaganda, trying to make those Chinese companies look like bad companies, like an American company. Well, you know, the Chinese can do things faster, they can do it better, they can do it cheaper. They're helping build the infrastructure of a number of countries around the world, from Pakistan to the Congo to Sudan to you name it. They're basically everywhere, helping out countries to better their infrastructure so that they can do more manufacturing, do more trade with China, do more trade with China's allies, the BRICS countries, and it's got the Americans' nose out of joint. See, this $1.6 billion bill was a bipartisan thing. It was 300 and some yeses, and I think there was like 34 or 40 nays. So it didn't matter whether they were Republican or whether they were Democrat. They were all voting for this, because it doesn't matter which side of the bench you sit on or the aisle you sit on. All of the American politicians are anti-China because they can't compete with China. They can't compete with something like the Belt and Road Initiative. They know that China is getting more influence around the world through the Belt and Road Initiative, and they're falling further and further and further behind China in the influence that they used to wield around the world. And China's taking over that, and they're taking it over very quickly. So one of their tools to try to counter that is negative propaganda, anti-China propaganda against the Chinese government, against the Chinese people, against the Chinese companies that are trying to help other countries around the world better themselves. See, the United States doesn't want any of these countries to get better. They want them to be under the thumb of the United States like they have been in the past, and they want them to be like that in the future, so that the United States can basically call the shots. It doesn't matter if it's in Africa or the Middle East or South America or Southeast Asia or wherever. It doesn't matter where it is. The Americans want to be able to dictate to countries around the world exactly what they can and cannot do. And they've done that through tariffs and sanctions and arresting people that are in competition, like Meng Wanzhou. So if you're sitting in Venezuela or you're sitting in Peru, South Africa, anywhere in the Middle East, anywhere in Southeast Asia, if you're sitting in the Philippines, if you're and you hear the news spouting anti-China rhetoric, if you're working for a Chinese company and the news comes on and it's telling you how bad that company is and what they've done so terrible in the past, you got to think to yourself, why would it be on the news? Why would they be doing that, and where is it coming from? Now that you've watched this video, you know exactly where it's coming from. It's coming from the American politicians and the $1.6 billion that they've ear-tagged to try to change your mind against the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. They're trying to vilify, they're trying to do an anti-China rhetoric against China, the Chinese people and Chinese companies, and trying to change your mind into hating the Chinese. That's what they do. That's part of their game. And everybody knows that in propaganda, the American government and the American media is probably the best in the world. They are good at one thing, and propaganda is one of those things. So don't believe it, or check it out for yourself. Make informed decisions before you start hating, before you start pointing fingers at the Chinese companies and saying they did this, they did that. It's not a debt trap. The Chinese do it for, as I say, they do it better, they do it quicker, they do it cheaper than any other country around the world in building ports and bridges and hospitals and roads and you name it. It doesn't matter what it is. And they're just trying to help out. They're trying to have neighbors around the world that they can do business with, and it's better if those neighbors have solid infrastructure. So don't listen to the American propaganda, and that's my point of view. On a little bit different topic, guys and girls, look at the sludge that's left after the flooding here in Nanning City. Like, they've cleaned the walkways off, not bad, and you know, they get the big trucks with big water hoses out, and they clean off the walkways. But this all used to be grass, and now it's sludge, you know, and there is a smell to it. Definitely, there's a smell to it. But you know what? After they get the walkways and stuff cleaned off all the way down the river, they'll come back and they'll clean all of this up too. It's just a matter of time. The river's only been down to a normal, well, not even a normal level. It's still pretty high, but give it another week or two. Oh, this will be clean too. The Chinese, man, I'm telling you, they just get it done. There's no thinking about it and sitting down having meetings about it. It just gets done. Somebody says go do that, it gets done. People around the world are starting to see through the American government facade and know that they're all talk. There's really no action going on there. There's no build back better. There's no money going to these small countries to help them with their infrastructure. The only thing that they're good at is rhetoric and trying to vilify the other person because they can't keep up with that other person. You see it in the tech industry, where now China's building their own semiconductors. You see it in the EV industry, the electric vehicle industry, where they have to put 100% tariffs to even try to compete with the Chinese. You know, they even solar panels, they can't compete in solar panels, a 50% tariff. You see, all of these things that you see is the Americans trying to compete with China, and they're doing a really shitty job of it. But they're, as I say, they're really good at the propaganda. So when you see this stuff, well, everybody knows. Everybody already knows that the Americans have lost so much credibility over the last 10 years that nobody actually believes them anymore. So they have to hide the rhetoric. You know, it's not from U.S. aid anymore. It's from local news stations in different countries. So they're trying to hide behind other countries and other news channels and other social media accounts and stuff like that to try to make it so that you will believe the rhetoric that they're spouting and giving millions and millions and millions of dollars for, actually billions of dollars for. And so they're trying to pull a wool over your eyes using other people now. Proxy propaganda. That's probably a good title for this video. Proxy propaganda. American proxy propaganda. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60 on the banks of the Yonge River here in Nanning, China. A beautiful day. It's a little bit dirty and a little bit muddy around, but hey, it'll get cleaned up in time, and everything will be back to normal in another week or two. And that's another video from Gweilo 60. See how high it was? Like, even on top of the garbage cans, you got what, three inches of sludge. Yep. And they use manure as fertilizer, so the wafting smell of manure is everywhere. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe, hit the bell, and until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now.